Okay, so this is not a tutorial of how to retopologize. This is more of a time lapse where I provide some tips and tricks for when it comes to retopologizing your characters. So if you've never seen Retopology, make sure you do the mushroom exercise that's on Teams, as well as the Gary exercise. For the first part of this video, I'll do some talking and some retopology, and then the video will turn into a time lapse that you can use as a reference for when you get stuck retopologizing your own characters. Okay, so to get started with the retopology, create a plane somewhere in the middle. I like to always go into edit mode and split the plane so that the origin is already in the middle, but you don't have to do that. But what you have to do is select the magnet and then set it to face. So now you can snap your vertices onto the faces. But right now I cannot see what I'm extruding, so go into these viewport display options and then check in front, and you can also change your color. Then I like to use the mirror modifier because my character is symmetric. Make sure clipping is selected and mirror select your body of your high poly character. I actually forgot to do it at this point, but later in the video you'll see me actually fix that issue. Then you want to select your poly build at the bottom left. So now you don't have to press G every time you move vertex, you just click and hold and drag. I like to make the basic shape first, so I started with the little twirl here, and from there I want to build off the legs. And so I just separated one of these squares, so I have a brand new square, and I start pretty much tracing the leg. Now you'll see me trace this leg using 9 faces. Later I actually have to delete one of these because things won't line up nicely. So I recommend making your edge loops around your legs and your arms made of 8 faces. Then you want to make sure that you turn on your auto merge so that your vertices do connect, and play around with the threshold so you don't have to line them up super precise, but close enough. Okay, now I'm going to be looking at how I can merge the belly with the leg. So here it seems like I need a loop cut because the leg there has a very close vertex. And I just line things up a little bit. Then I extrude the face and I can connect those. Same thing here. I will need a loop cut right here. And then what I just extruded can connect with this top one. Okay, so here you might be tempted to extrude this face upwards so it looks like this. But our axis of symmetry here is really looking like this, which means that these two faces are related, and anything that flows into one must flow out of the other one in the exact same way. And then we'll have enough space for this other square as well. Okay, and so this is me doing that. And earlier I said that you should have your loop be made of 8 faces, but I accidentally made it out of 9. And so here you are about to see me realize that and fix the mistake. So I have a center line, then I have another line, but at the top there's 2 faces that shouldn't be there. So I will delete them by holding Shift and left clicking. And then I have to join these vertices together. You might also find it annoying to see the back sides of every single square that you draw. So to prevent that, you want to enable backface culling. Okay, so now the time lapse will start. At the bottom right, you will see a timer for the next time that I speak. If you want to skip to that time, go ahead. But if you want to watch just to see my workflow, you can do that as well. Here I'm fixing the mirror issue that I mentioned earlier because I never eyedropped the body. And here I am about to set up for the loop for the eye. I don't know how many faces I should have made this out of, and I definitely come into some issues as I work on it. Okay, so here I'm about to get started with my loop on my arm. It was a little bit crowded, so I deleted some faces. I believe I make this loop out of 12 faces, and I also hide all of the other faces so that they don't get in the way. You just do that by selecting them and then pressing H. Here I'm just extending the top and the bottom faces so that they can meet right away. I want to make sure that the top and bottom face is lined up. And now I build the fingers and everything else around that. Okay, so the hand is done, but I would like to add some more loop cuts to add more detail. So I just Control R, but the problem is when you Control R, it doesn't shrink wrap. So you have to use the shrink wrap modifier. The problem in my case is that the arms are made separately from the body. So if I was to use the shrink wrap modifier by default and select the arms, sure, the arms would shrink wrap to the arms, but so would the body. The body would shrink wrap to the arms, and I want to avoid that. So I select all of the retopo that I did on the arms, but only on the arms. I go to vertex properties and I create a new group. And with the hand vertices still selected, I hit assign. So now I can create my shrink wrap modifier. Down here where it says vertex group, I select arm. And then for my target, that is my high poly arms. So now if I turn it on and off, you can see the effect. But I actually made a mistake. I chose a little bit too much. Like this piece right here. It should not be getting shrink wrapped to the arms. It should stay on the body. So I need to remove these vertices from my vertex group. So off to edit mode, select those vertices and remove them from your vertex group. So now when I disable and enable the modifier, you can see that those vertices stay. And now on the thumb, for example, I want more loop cuts, so I'm just going to add more loop cuts with the modifier still enabled. And it will nicely shrink wrap it. Here I'm just hiding some of the faces so that when I connect the body to the arms, it's much easier to work with. Okay, so that's the end of the video. At the end I did struggle to connect the arms, so I made a few triangles. I will say that is okay. I'm not an expert at retopology, but for my uses at this point and for yours, that will be good enough. So yeah, good luck with your characters, and